Mhm.
So how was your meditation last week, Cheryl?
It's good. I am sticking with my routine. I'm pleased about that. I certainly notice what gets me riled up and distracts me.
Oh,
Uh,
wonderful.
so I get to look at that. But I'm pushing on. I'm meditating.
That's good. That's very good. How about you, Clive?
Yeah, it's the same. It's good. I think like the when it's perfect, like I'm a morning person, and so in the morning I'm full of energy, full of ideas, really looking forward to the day. And if I get a good meditation session in the afternoon, it's the same. It's like having another morning all over again.
That's great.
And that's the best it can be, you know.
And so you're trying to meditate twice a day?
No.
Okay,
I
I didn't
just feel
understand.
good in
Okay.
the morning just because it's morning.
Yes.
But if I have a good relaxing meditation in the afternoon, I feel refreshed. I feel as
Mhm.
good as I did in the
Yes.
morning. Yeah.
Yes. Yes. Now I understand what you're saying. The one of
Mhm.
the reasons that I reacted to what you said is that uh, one of the things that I did, and one of the things that people do as they're progressing, is meditate more than once a day.
Mm.
And what I found personally doing that was that somehow it sets up some kind of current or something. I can't really describe it, but it's something that is there during the day between the times of meditation where you're carrying that state with you. And anyway, I think it's a good deal.
Yeah. Well, if my wife and I go out in the car and we go to the supermarket, and I'll sometimes say to her, I'm not interested, I'll just wait in the car. And
Good.
so she goes into the supermarket, and I sit there and I tilt the seat back a little bit and close my eyes. And, that's, it's a meditation. If it lasts too long, it's a nap.
Yes. Now, one of the things I did and actually still do at the supermarket is I use the time standing in line to meditate.
Mm,
You're not doing
yeah,
anything else. And,
that's right. Yeah,
it's,
yeah,
it's good for the mind to take that kind of break.
yeah. Yeah, it's if you have waiting to do, use the time instead of being frustrated.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Mm,
Instead of it being at the effect of all of this stuff, it's different. Anyway,
yeah,
very good. Very good. I'm pleased with the progress that both of you are making and the fact that you're doing it and sticking with it, and you're it sounds like it feels important for you to do that in your life now, and so that's perfect. That's perfect. Okay, so if we can get on to today's uh, meditations. First, we will just have a simple 10 minutes of mindful breathing. Breathing in, I calm my body. Breathing out, I calm my body. All right. Now, today, here, let me get on camera, excuse me. Okay, come on. Okay, there we have it. Uh, Today, I want to talk about getting deeper in your meditation. To build a meditation practice, you have to actually start, then you have to make it a habit. You've done this. Now, maybe it is time to see if you can get deeper in your practice. I'll give you a few steps to take before, during, and after meditation. Even before you start, there are ways you can prepare yourself. First, just calm your breath. This naturally calms the mind. Maybe take 2 or 3 slow breaths. Then gladden the mind. Our brain is deeply wired to avoid pain and seek pleasure. So, if you can generate some stable feelings of safety and contentment right before your meditation, you are sending a message to your brain that all is well and it need not be restless. When our mind is joyful and content, it is naturally more quiet, introverted, and together. So, after relaxing your body and mind, I advise you to gladden the mind by doing something like one of these or more than one. Remember something that you're grateful for, then let the feeling flow through you. Remember the joy or the happiness of meditation, something pleasurable from a previous meditation. Tell yourself that all is safe and well in this moment. Feel good that you're taking time to heal, grow, and master your mind. Maybe start with a short chant, like saying Om 3 times, or from the Buddhist Heart Sutra. You may have heard this: Gate, Gate, Para Gate, Para Samgate, Bodhisattva, which means literally gone, gone, gone beyond, gone utterly beyond. Enlightenment, hail. Also, for increasing the feeling of safety, make a safe and quiet place for your meditation and remove anything that may interrupt your practice, like your cell phone or pets. You might need to inform those around you that may need your attention to be respectful of the space and time you're allocating for your practice, and so not to create any abrupt noise or move in and out of the room. And if you can't find such a place, then use earplugs or headphones to cover your ears. Simply going through these steps is enough to calm anxiety, restlessness, and other mental agitation. You are now in a more ready state to go into deeper meditation. And that starts by having a clear and strong intention. That's the next step, is to set your intention. Take a few moments to just focus your intention before practice. It can do wonders for your meditation. You can do this by saying to yourself with intention and presence something like this: for the next 15 minutes, I will only focus on my meditation. There is nothing else for me to do and nothing else for me to think about during this time. Mind, please don't disturb me. I'll start concentrating now. Determination and willpower are very important. As Swami Rama says, I can do it. I will do it. I am going to do it. This intention is a way to deepen your meditation. If you feel like you don't have good determination or willpower right now, don't worry. By practicing setting up your intention this way, you slowly start developing these muscles. Now, during meditation, don't suffer from distractions. If you're during your meditation practice, it is important never to criticize yourself or feel bad about getting distracted with thoughts. These self-critical thoughts are harmful and not in line with the spirit of good meditation. Learn to be gentle with yourself during your practice. For decades, you've trained your mind to be distracted. So it will take some time to train it to be focused. Be patient and kind with yourself. The next step is to delight in concentration. There will be moments when your mind is more focused on the meditation. When this happens, it's important to delight in it. Enjoy how quiet, stable, and unified the mind gets. Delight in it and let the feeling wash through you. Mind's most fundamental habit is to seek pleasure and well-being and to avoid pain and suffering. By teaching the mind to appreciate the joy of concentration, it starts working more towards increasing concentration and facilitating more focus. According to the Buddha, joy and happiness are two of the five factors of meditative absorption, jhana, that we talked about earlier. The more you learn to open up and enjoy your meditation, the less reasons there are for the mind to get restless thinking about other things. The five jhana factors from the Buddha are: first, initial application. You've done this. Next is sustained application. You've done this too. Next are joy, happiness, and one-pointedness. This preparation practice is very useful when your concentration is still wavering and you are building your practice. Once practice and concentration get solid and stable, however, there's no need to disturb your mind with these thoughts and intentions. Just stay there. For me now, simply chanting Om 3 times before meditating is enough preparation. And after meditation, a gentle transition. When the bell rings, get out of your meditation gently, not hurriedly. Keep the mind in the same state. Gently move your fingers and necks, and then open your eyes. This transition helps you bring more of the meditation feeling into your daily life. And the last suggestion to deepen your practice is to keep a journal. I highly encourage you to take some notes about how your practice went. This helps you solidify the meditation habit. It also develops a greater understanding of the working of the mind and the mechanics of meditation. A simple entry could answer these 3 questions. How long did I sit? How do I feel now? How was my mind during meditation? For the third question, you can note things like how many times you got distracted. What kind of thoughts or feelings were you experiencing? And how long you could keep focused. You can use the journal as a way of exploring your mind and what is behind these thoughts that arise. By regularly integrating these 7 keys to meditation, your practice can go much deeper, more enjoyable, and more transformative. Here is a summary. Before meditation, relax your body and breath to calm down and center yourself. Gladden the mind with gratitude or other positive feelings. Have strong intention. During meditation, don't feel bad about getting distracted and find delight in the moments of concentration. After meditation, move out of the meditation gently and take notes in your journal. All right, now we have another man talking about deepening your practice. I think this will be interesting to you. I just have to get my computer to react. Here we go.
Hey, welcome back to Being Integrated. I'm Jude, and this is 4 tips to improve your meditation practice. I'm going to start by saying that the 4th one is by far the most powerful and life-changing tip for me. It really changed my practice. It really deepened everything. So definitely stick around to the end. But also the 3rd one might sound kind of weird and controversial, but I'll do my best to explain why I think it's helpful and important, not necessary, but it could be really valuable to add to your practice. So the first step is to set an intention before you practice. Get really clear on your intention. So when you sit down to meditate, say, okay, for the next 10 minutes or 20 minutes, however long you have set for yourself, that you're going to do your best to stay focused. Your mind's going to want to come in, you're going to want to think, and you can just put that aside for now, that there's going to be plenty of time to think later, but for now you're going to do your best to stay focused on your practice, whatever the intention of your practice is. So it's really getting clear with what the intention of your practice is, really knowing what the practice is. I just did a video called Am I Doing It Right? Like, am I meditating right? And so if you're not really clear on what your practice is and if you're doing it right, maybe check that one out so you can get more confident in your practice. And then deciding, okay, I'm going to do my best, and also being forgiving with yourself, knowing that you're not going to do it perfect. So just saying, I'm going to do my best, and whatever that is okay. So that's the first step, is setting your intention before you start practicing. Sometimes you might come in saying, oh, I know my intention, but really making it clear every time you sit down that this is what my intention is with the practice can actually help a lot. It can help to put your mind at ease and let your mind know, okay, if it slows down or calms down, that's okay. The thoughts are going to be able to come back later. Often our thoughts jump in because they feel so important. They feel like, oh, if I don't engage with these thoughts, I'm going to forget. It's something that I need to know or need to think about or need to remember. So just telling yourself that you're going to be practicing for this amount of time and you'll address the thoughts later can be really reassuring for our mind and can help us get a little more concentrated and into the practice. So the second tip is opening your heart to your experience. And this is really another way of talking about equanimity, which is something I talk about a lot on the channel. You can check out my videos on equanimity. But another way of saying this is to open your heart to your experience. So whether you're doing a focus-based practice, like focusing on your breath, or a more open awareness style of Vipassana, like focusing on different aspects of your experience, whatever you're focusing on, open your heart to that experience. Often we get so fixated on keeping our attention on the thing that we're not actually opening our heart or our body or our awareness or our being to the experience. So we really don't want to be closed down. We don't want to be tight or constricted. We want to be fully open to whatever's arising. And so meet each moment, meet each breath or each sensory experience with this open-hearted awareness. You can think of it as that same feeling of meeting someone you love, someone you care a lot about. When you see them, when you think of them, that open-hearted feeling you get, meet each sensation with that same openness. Remember, this is a practice. You know, we're going to get caught up, we're going to get tightened and constricted around our experience, we're going to forget, and that's okay. So it's also meeting our own larger sense of practice, our own follies and imperfections with that same open-heartedness. Whenever we notice our mind running away and we bring it back, meet that experience with open-heartedness and goodness and care. This is a super important one, and it's one that we often forget about and get lost in the actual pragmatic aspect of the practice. But just being in this open-hearted space and awareness, that is one of the biggest, most important pieces of practice. Okay, so the third one, which is kind of a weird one, is called dedication of merit, or at least that's what it's called in like a traditional sense. So in Tibetan Buddhism, which is the original tradition I studied in and also the tradition that my parents studied in, there's always, after the end of our meditation practice or whatever we're doing, we dedicate the merit. And the idea of merit is kind of tied to karma. It's that we gain some good merit, like it's a good deed to practice meditation, that so much of our actions are in delusion and suffering and cause suffering for others, even if we're not aware of it. And so the practice of meditation is meant to combat this. It's actually like a good deed, like we're doing something good for ourselves and for the world. So meditation practice is seen as this virtue that accumulates merit, accumulates like good karma or good deeds, and it helps us. We wouldn't be doing it if it didn't help us and improve our well-being in some way. So the dedication of merit is saying, okay, and all this goodness that I've achieved or accumulated through my practice, I'm not going to hold on to this. I'm going to give it away and give it to all sentient beings, so just like basically everyone. And this kind of sounds weird if you're not familiar with the concept. When I first started practicing, I was like, you know what, I'm working really hard. I was practicing a lot, and I was like, I don't really want to give it away, then it's all for nothing. But the reason why this is so emphasized in Tibetan Buddhism is that giving it away is really what the practice is all about. It's really what Buddhism is all about. It's challenging this egoic, self-serving part of ourselves. Practice is really about letting go of the self, letting go of us and who we think we are, and that we're so important, or that we need this or that, or that we need to feel good all the time. Practice is very much about letting go of these parts of ourselves. And there's this trap in practice. There's this trap that when we start doing a lot of meditation or spiritual practice, we start to feel better about ourselves, which isn't bad. But the risk is that we might use it to inflate our ego, to inflate our sense of self, thinking, oh, I meditate, I do these practices, I'm a better person, I'm better than these other people who don't do meditation. So the dedication of merit is really to combat this part of ourselves that wants to cling to the practice, that wants to cling to these ideas that we're so important or that we're better than others. And it's really humbling ourselves. It's saying, okay, I'm going to do all this, but I'm not even going to do it for myself. I'm going to do it for others. And this is really in the core essence of what Buddhism is all about. It is kind of about transcending the ego or the small sense of self and realizing this larger sense of beingness, that we are really interconnected with everything. So when you finish your practice, you can say, okay, any goodness or merit or whatever word you want to use, anything you've accumulated through this, it's really for the benefit of all. You just want to give it out. It's not holding on to it. It's just allowing everything to just be in the flow. It's just wishing others to be well, not doing things for ourselves. And so the trick to this is if you genuinely mean it, if you really wish for others to be well better than yourself, it actually improves the practice. The challenge is that we have to mean it. We have to really not be doing it, giving it out so we can get more back, but really giving it out because we see the beauty and the truth of not holding on to our own accomplishments, but by doing things for somebody else, it actually helps everyone. Okay, so the fourth tip for deepening your practice, and this again was the huge one for me, which is practicing mindfulness in everyday life, which is taking the practice of awareness off of the cushion and starting to integrate it into my day-to-day. And the more I did this, the more it really changed everything. I started with doing a few check-ins in the day of just noticing how I'm feeling, what's happening in my mind, what's happening in my body, how I'm relating to my experience. And now it happens, maybe 100, 200 times a day. I have these moments of insight, of just seeing my experience for what it is. And this is especially relevant when we get activated, when we get reactive or triggered. If some discomfort arises in my body, if something happens like, I get some bad news or somebody's mean to me or whatever it is, these things that would normally bring us into either anger or sadness or anxiety, suddenly I have this awareness and I can notice the feeling come up in my body, I can notice the sensations, and I can just allow them to be there. I cannot make it a problem anymore. So I used to have, you could say, a bit of an anxiety issue. I would get really nervous and I'd get anxiety and I'd kind of close up around social groups. I'd close up around certain experiences. If I have a group to lead or something, or I'm teaching something, then I start feeling some anxiety before and even during, but I don't make it a problem. It's just, oh, there's the anxiety coming up. That's there, that's fine. I know I can still do this. I know I can still perform well even though the anxiety is there. So it's not crippling anymore. It doesn't have a negative impact on me. And this is all through the practice of mindfulness. This is through the practice of being aware and being okay, practicing equanimity with the feelings, and also bringing more clarity into the sensations, noticing where they're happening in the body, what they feel like. When you do this, they become less scary, they become less overwhelming, and suddenly everything just becomes a bit easier and smoother in life. So I have a lot of practices. Much of my channel is dedicated to teaching people how to practice mindfulness in everyday life. So I have like this kind of course called Pragmatic Mindfulness Series. That's just 4 videos, and it really gives you the foundational theories and practices for doing this. So if this interests you, check that out. That's it for this video. Thank you so much for tuning in. If you appreciate the video, please like, subscribe, comment, do all those things. They're super appreciated, and stay tuned for more.
So I think for me, that was an interesting video. And, I really appreciate his third point, uh, you know, that, we're not doing this for me. It's not something because I want to accumulate all this good stuff. This is something that we're doing for the people around us, the people we care about, and the world. And uh, having that kind of spirit as a part of your practice and a part of your life is also one of the things that makes you happy. And I think being happy is our most important job at this time of our life. Anyway, on to now some more meditation, and we will do 15 minutes of mindfulness, breathing in. I feel my body. Breathing out. I feel my breath. Breathing in, I calm my body. Breathing out, I calm my body.
Hey, welcome back.
All right. Now, what I'd like to do is close with a short chant. Om Shanti, Shanti, Shanti. Om. Peace, peace, peace. All right. Are there any questions or comments from today's session?
Not really, no.
No, I don't think so.
Oh, very good. I'll see you next week then, and good meditations.
Thank you.
Mhm.